If I was unhappy and wanted to land my dream job this year, here's the exact steps I would take. This is the process that I go through with my paying clients to help them make a meaningful career change and get paid more. So, step one is that I would get ridiculously clear on what it is I'm looking for. Now, this is the bit that so many people skip, and that's why they end up getting stuck. So, what I would do is I would spend time really figuring out what it is I'm looking for in my next job before I get to polishing my CV, before I start scrolling at job boards. I would be asking, what are my non negotiables? What are the things that I absolutely need to be present in a job description so that I apply for that job? I would start journaling on the things that drain my energy and the things that energize me in my current job. I would start thinking about how I want to feel in my next job. I'd start thinking about the impact that I want to have. All these things that start to paint a picture about what I really, really want. Because it can be so tempting to just dive straight into applying for jobs. Like I say, so many people skip this step, but it is so important when you want to be approaching the job search process with confidence and clarity. This is where you need to start. The second thing I would do is to take a skills audit. So, to get really clear on the value that I have to offer the workplace, really thinking about my skills and my experience. Because when you're applying for a new job, you're not starting from scratch, you're just repositioning yourself, you're reframing it. So it's thinking about, what are my skills? What are the things that people ask for my help with? What are the things that I want to take forward into my next job? And what are the stories that I can tell that show the value that I have to bring to a different context? This is a big part of what I do with my clients because it's so easy to miss your skills. Your core skills are the things that you do naturally without even thinking about them. That is your magic. But when you do it day in, day out, it's so easy to miss it, so easy to think it's not a big deal. This is a big part of the coaching I do to help people recognize how amazing they are and the value that they have to bring to the workplace. This is something that I see time and time again, and often it's getting that outside perspective that is really helpful as you're going through the process of mapping out your skills and your experience so that then you can transfer it over to what is it you're wanting to go into and figuring out, are there any gaps between where you are now and where you want to be? Then you can look at, how do I plug those gaps? So we all know that updating our LinkedIn profile is a big part of making a career change. So once you've got really clear on what you want and what you have to offer, that's when I would advise that you update your LinkedIn profile, not just about where you've been, but also where you want to go. So the first thing that I'd advise you to do is to update that headline, not just with your job title, but with a bit more meaning, what it is that you have to bring, the value that you have to offer. So see if you can see the difference between this. So rather than a senior project manager at Atkins, you could say, I'm an experienced project manager helping teams to deliver complex projects on time and on budget, interested in sustainability and innovation. Do you see the difference? Do you see that that really conveys the value that you have to bring? You then want to create an about section that tells the story of what you're great at, what you care about, and where you're headed. And always add in an invitation to connect. And then making sure that you're explaining your achievements, not just your responsibilities. For example, delivered training to over 300 employees, increased staff retention by 15%. It's so specific, and it's something that an employer can immediately go, wow, I want that value in my company. So that is how I would update my LinkedIn profile. And kind of linked to that, the fourth step in this process is that I would tell people what I'm looking for, and not just tell them that I'm looking for a job, but be really specific. By this point, I know I'm ridiculously clear on what I want and the value I have to offer. So I would communicate that to my network. I would also make sure I'm hanging out in places where people I want to work with hang out. And this could be online, but it could also be in person. Coffee chats are really underrated. Having those informational interviews are a source of so much gold when it comes to working out if this next step that you're thinking about could genuinely be a good fit for you. We don't need 100 opportunities. We just need one job that is aligned with you. Have the conversations to make it happen. So, the final step is way less tactical and it is more about mindset. It's about becoming the person that already has that job. Because every job that I've ever secured, every job that my clients has ever landed, it's all started with a mindset shift, believing that you are worthy of a job that you love. And if you truly believe that, what would shift for you? What would you start doing? What would you stop doing in your current job? What boundaries would you put into place? What might you do this week? Because once you start believing what is possible for you, these opportunities just have a tendency to show up. And this isn't about wishing and just hoping and praying. This is about preparing. And you know what? This step is actually the hardest one, particularly if you're surrounded by people who have this narrative that work is just something you do Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and we're just living for the weekend. We're just getting through our working hours so that we can live at the weekend, so that we can live once we retire. Because surely nobody loves their job. That's not possible. Well, I want to say it is possible. And actually, the people that you surround yourself can have such a huge impact on your mindset. I've created a community full of people who are on this journey to make a meaningful career change, who are shifting that mindset towards believing that it is possible to have a job that ticks all the boxes, that feels meaningful, that you really, really enjoy, and that pays really well. If you would like to be part of a community of people that believes that, come and join us in the Career Change Collective. I'd love to see you in there.